again, everyone, and thanks again for joining today. And here is the May 2024 Office Add-in Community Call. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending on your time zone. And today we have 3 different topics to cover. The first one is the Office Outlook add-in updates. And the second one would be the Word add-ins update. And the third one would be enhanced security with NAA, a simpler SSO solution for WXP add-ins. So the 3 presenters today would be Rashi Jindal, who is a senior project manager of Microsoft, and Steve Jin, who is also a senior project manager, and David Chesnut, who is a senior technical writer. So let's get started and go ahead. So the first topic would be the Outlook add-ins update. So Rashi, would you like to share your screen, or you can take control?
Thanks, Mingjia. I'll take control.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome. So thanks a lot, Mingjia. And hi, everyone. Happy to present here. I'm Rashi Jindal, as Mingjia said. I'm part of the Outlook extensibility team. And I'm leading the initiative of bringing Outlook add-ins into the fold of Teams app. And that is also what we'll be talking about today. So sorry, the slides don't seem to be moving ahead for me. It seems you'll need to accept control, Mingjia.
Oops, let me try. How about now?
Yes, it's working now. Great. So yeah, as I was saying, so basically I'm part of the Outlook extensibility team. I'm leading the initiative for bringing Outlook add-ins into the fold of Teams app. This is something that has been in preview for some time. We announced the preview for it last build, and it's great to say that we are GA with this capability now. So it's a good time to basically come back to this forum and present this to all of you now, and sort of gain feedback, give the CTAs, and just have a general feedback on this feature overall. So first of all, I'll just sort of take a step back and walk through exactly what the vision of Teams app was. So initially, as all of you know, for M365 platform, we had different hubs and we had different extensibility options. And that was a problem for all the stakeholders, whether it's end user, developer, or an IT admin, because everybody had separate experiences of discoverability, development, deployment, reviews across all of these different hubs. And it didn't really feel like an ecosystem of Microsoft. So to address this problem, what Microsoft essentially did is, and what we are working towards, is to combine the extensibility options of all of these different hubs under one single package and under a single manifest, which we called the Unified App Manifest. What this essentially does for all the stakeholders is that it gives a consistent experience end to end. For developers and ISVs, it basically means that you don't have to develop something different for add-in and a different thing for Teams and a different thing for Windows. It essentially means that there is one package that you have, and that particular package can work across all of these different M365 surfaces. Similarly, for admins, IT admins, they don't have to go approve different packages from the same developer across these different surfaces. And for end users, it basically means that they have a common discoverability and usability experience across these different surfaces. Office Outlook, I'm just looking at the chat as well. So Office Outlook and Monarch Outlook, Monarch Outlook is basically the new Outlook that we have. It essentially means that the Win32 experience that we had for Outlook, or the Outlook on the web that we had, that is all essentially merging into the new Outlook, which we internally call Monarch. So these are just different clients of Outlook. Coming back, coming to the M365 Unified App, or the Teams app, as we call it, why should somebody build it? Why should that even be in your consideration? So as I said, for all the different stakeholders in the pipeline, whether it's the end users, developers, or admins. It basically means that we are unifying your experiences. For developer, for all of you guys, it basically means that you can develop a single package under a single app model, and it gives you the reach of all M365 users, which is basically 1 billion plus user set. It gives you deeper and more relevant engagement across all of these different users and broader enterprise adoption. For end users, as I said, it's consistent discoverability across different M365 products. Also, it means that if you as a developer have an offering on Teams as well as on Outlook, user doesn't have to acquire your offerings separately on these hubs. Like if a user has acquired your offering on Outlook, then it automatically appears on Teams as well, and vice versa. Because this is all under same package, it means the workflows and the data of the user is connected, which leads to higher productivity overall. And for admins, it basically means that they don't have to manage something on Outlook and something on Teams differently. It is all under one hood, and it's unified management of their apps. And you get more granular controls over this app package overall. Moving on, going a little bit deeper into what you can do in terms of scenarios. So all what we talked about till now was great in terms of having one package, having one sort of extensibility offering. But if we come down to functionality, what does that really mean, and what are the new possibilities that having an Outlook add-in as part of the Teams app open up for you? So firstly, as I said, since it's a single app, your publish and deploy options are the same as Teams app. You don't have to go do something differently for an Outlook add-in. And more importantly, in terms of functionality, what you have is that whatever functionality that you have built for your add-in, that can work in conjunction with message extensions, which is another extensibility option that can work across Teams and Outlook and is part of the unified in365 apps. So you can build richer experiences where an add-in can, you can have a sort of task pane or a side pane where an add-in user goes and does some function. And as part of message extension, you can have an adaptive card unfurl into your email messages, and vice versa. Like from an adaptive card, you can invoke an add-in and have the workflow continue within context of where the user is. So there's a lot of possibilities here that you can think about. But the bottom line basically is that because add-ins and other extensibility options are part of one package now, they can work in conjunction very well. Similarly, you can have personal apps. So personal apps are essentially full page apps that can be accessed from within M365 hubs, whether it is Teams or Outlook. It is essentially a web page. So the possibilities of what you can do here is endless. We have a lot of partners who are already using this, and it gives a better discoverability to the app overall, because the side pane that we have, which is present across M365 hubs, with a personal app, your app becomes available as part of the side pane. So if you click on more or the app icon here, and your app basically has a personal tab or a launch page or a personal app, it basically starts showing up in this particular icon or in the unified store. Another thing is that, of course, as all of you know, there's a lot of investments that are happening in Microsoft right now with regards to Copilot, with regards to generative AI. And whatever those investments are, they are actually happening as part of the unified app manifest itself. So as you think of, taking your add-in and moving it to the unified app manifest, you are essentially getting ready for any Copilot features that we may release in the future. Similarly, there is work going on to bring WXP add-ins into the fold of these unified apps as well. So if you are already doing, already bringing your Outlook add-in in to this unified app manifest, again, you are basically getting ready and one step ahead to have your Word, Excel, and PowerPoint add-ins also as part of this unified app. So essentially, regardless of which surface you are on, the extensibility options are all converging into this one package, which has unified app manifest. And Outlook add-ins is basically, is a capability that we are already at GA with. Now, all of this is great, but there are some, sort of frequent questions that we get from Outlook add-in developers to sort of understand this more, that exactly what this means for somebody who already has an Outlook add-in, right? So the first question that we get is, do I need to develop my add-in again? And the answer there is no, absolutely not. What we are doing here is not, coming with a new form of add-in. It's basically just a new kind of manifest that we are coming up with. So basically, the XML manifest that you have, you can convert it into a JSON manifest, which is the format of the unified app manifest, and you are good to go. Even this conversion does not have to happen manually. You can use our converters, and you essentially put in the XML manifest, and the converter spits out the JSON manifest for you. Can I continue using add-in APIs for the Office.js APIs? Absolutely, yes. That part of the equation, or that part of the add-in, does not change. Office.js APIs remain as is. You can use them as is, and there are like whatever investments that we are making in these APIs, they will continue to be done in the future as well. So that part of the equation does not change at all. Do I lose my current customers? So basically, another question is that, hey, I do have an Outlook add-in right now, which is has an XML manifest. If I do this new thing, which has a JSON manifest, does that mean that I'll have to my users have to go back and reinstall my add-in? And as a consequence, do I lose all the customers that I have today? The answer again to that is no. This is basically just like an update. So basically, the way we have designed it is that if you have an XML add-in and that's there in store, that's there with your customer, deployed at the end of the deployed at the end user, and then you go publish an add-in, which is basically a JSON-based add-in, then there's a seamless upgrade option that can happen from the XML manifest add-in to the JSON one. So essentially, you don't lose any of your current customers. What is the recommendation for somebody who's developing a new add-in? We would definitely recommend to go the JSON manifest route until and unless you have a very strong reason not to, because that is essentially the way for the future, given all the reasons that I just talked about, in the presentation till now. Do I need to maintain two versions of my add-in? So again, this question in itself can be a little bit misleading, because it's not really that you have two versions of your add-in, because as I said before, here you are not changing the Office.js part of your add-in. Like all the API calls, all the functionality there, that remains as is. There's no change that will happen there. It's just the manifest that is changing. So it's not really two versions. It's basically just the add-in that is just the manifest that is changing. And this is something that we are making sure at our end, that whatever features that are there in XML, whatever G8 features that are there in XML are also there in the JSON manifest. So it's not something new that, you'll come to JSON and then you lose a bunch of features. Whatever is GA in XML, you will have it in JSON as well. So there's feature parity between the two XMLs. Lastly, of course, this is something new, and we do understand that there can be queries, there can be a little bit of ambiguity or confusion in terms of how things work. So please feel free to reach out to us on this DL or otherwise through normal support channels as well, and we'll be happy to take up your questions. Next, I just wanted to touch base on this to make sure that, just to let you know in terms of what is coming next, and also maybe, a few possible reasons that you might want to hold off publishing your JSON add-ins, immediately. So while I would definitely say that this is something that you can go out and try and develop immediately, if you are, let's say, using a spam reporting feature or an encryption classification feature in your XML add-in right now, which is basically these are preview features for XML add-ins, then you might want to wait till June to publish your add-in, because these features will, because these are preview features, this will take up till June to appear in the JSON manifest. Similarly, if you want the seamless upgrade experience that I spoke about, that is present for store apps right now. If you have LOB add-ins, then LOB add-ins, for the seamless upgrade option of LOB add-ins, you'll have to wait until July. Other than that, there is no very strong reason to, sort of not try out the JSON manifest. But of course, we are happy to hear any gaps or any questions that you might see in this offering, and we can, take that feedback and put it in our product feedback loop. Moving on, this is basically just sort of the CTA. Okay, whatever I've seen is great. I want to go try this. Where do I start? You essentially go to the documentation here. First of all, you can start with an overall review of the JSON app, of the JSON manifest, which basically tells you what are the different elements and what element does what. We have tried to map whatever elements were there in the XML manifest to the JSON manifest. So within the JSON manifest, there's an element called extensions, and within that particular element, you'll see all your add-in features present as is. Then there are two pathways that you can take. If you are building an absolutely new add-in, which is from scratch, then you can essentially, go refer these documentations. Otherwise, you can simply go to our converter, which will let you convert your XML JSON manifest to your JSON manifest, and you can essentially start sideloading and testing your app. So these are the various ways you can test your app. If you want, if you just want to test for yourself or one particular user, you can use the Teams toolkit or the Office add-in debugging tool or VS Code, and essentially sideload your package there and test it. You can also, if you do have like a test tenant for admin center, you can actually go to the admin center, upload your package as a Teams app, and deploy it for whatever X number of users that you want to. That is another option of testing this out. Once you are done developing, testing, and iterating, and you are happy and satisfied with the app that you have, you can go and publish your solution to App Source. The way to publish this is through Partner Center, the way we do Teams app right now. So because add-ins, this capability basically takes add-ins into the fold of Teams app, the publish option and the submitting and the publishing options are also similar to those as of Teams app. So you go to Partner Center, you submit your app, it goes through a review process, and once all of that is done, you can essentially publish to store, and it can be available to your end customers. So yeah, I think that is all I had. I will just look at the questions in the chat now, and I'll see if I can answer some of them. If not immediately, then we'll definitely come back to you. Thanks.
Okay, Mingjia, I can get started, but I need to share my screen instead because I need to switch between the slides and the lab demo. Cool. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Jin, Product Manager on the Microsoft Office Platform team, focusing on the Word.js add-in area. Today, I'm going to introduce several updates and advancements in our platform. Okay. So first, let me briefly recap a previous developer survey on a unique feature, auto run for WXP add-ins. So in the survey, we asked several questions to understand the developer's perspective on auto run for JS add-ins. So we received many responses, which we greatly appreciate. Although a majority of the respondents who answered the first question chosen the other option, which we don't know what they are because actually we didn't ask the survey participants to specify what the other means. We have received the equal number of responses favoring the two options. The first one is add-in can be automatically installed and open for any document. Automatically open for a specific document only when it has been installed. So based on this responses, it helps us gain a clearer understanding of how auto-run should function for WXP add-ins. And the next survey question is, what is your user scenario when you want the add-ins to be automatically launched? Most survey participants selected add-in should be automatically launched if the user opened it last time and didn't close it. In this case, auto open happens for all documents. This one got the most of the voting, but looking at other options, WXP add-in for auto run has kind of like a unique use case compared with Outlook, because Outlook has kind of like auto run to to enable the add-ins to run for WXP, because our add-ins can be on the document level. So in the use case that when the user share or send a file, a document contains an add-in, which the user who received the file doesn't have that add-in installed, this requires some certain level of the trust, which means that user need to consent to agree to install the add-in. So the auto run capability in this case should be carefully designed. So this is somehow a complication we need to consider. Also, in some other cases, like for example, for compared with Outlook auto-run capabilities, it has a set of event-based auto-run, but in WSP, the event has somehow little different design. So we also need to consider the complication of how to enable the auto-run for based on the events. So those are the great insights, and our key takeaway from this survey is that the user preferences, also we need to cover the auto-run for all the documents, should be considered and respected when designing this feature. So building on insights gained from this survey, we have recently initiated scoping for this feature, and we are currently in the design phase. We have prioritized several work streams to enhance auto-run based on the current existing capabilities. And our initial focus to enhance the auto-run is on Word, aiming to address several issues like currently we lack of auto-run across all Word documents in the manner of per user basis. We also need to address introduce new ULIS support, which means the add-in can be auto-run in the background for Word.js add-ins. And then we also need to introduce this capability for user to manage their preference settings for auto-run add-ins. And moving forward, we also plan to expand this capability to include event-based auto-run. We also plan to empower the tenant admins to manage auto-run settings and ensure that end users are notified when the auto-run is enforced to run by admin. Okay, so to gather early feedback from developers, our partners who are interested in this feature, we invite you to sign up a form and attend a follow-up deep dive sessions with us, because we are excited to hear your insights and experience regarding the auto-run user scenario and features for Word.js add-ins. So this is the short URL for you to sign up. I will stay on this page for a moment for you to take the note of the sign up link. Also, I think we can maybe means allow me to copy and paste this link to the chat window.
Yeah, of course. I will send it to chat window.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so next I will be revisiting the Word.js APIs in preview, and also I saw a question in the chat asking about the 1.8. So basically those APIs in preview fundamentally will be released in 1.8, and so our intent to ensure that the community is fully aware of this APIs in preview and knows where to find the existing demos or the sample code, because we have done several demos and introductions in the previous monthly calls. Also, we have several samples in our GitHub repo. So we encourage developers to start exploring these preview APIs. For example, so the annotation events, we have expanded them to allow for additional processing. And for the on-canvas card capability, it's enhanced for annotated text that right now it can provide further suggestions for users to take the actions. So the demos and samples available on the YouTube, you can find those demos in our previous monthly call, and also you can try those samples from our GitHub repo. And next, I will provide a couple of lab demo for the two set of APIs. One is the web-only comments events. We expand the events for the comments on the Word Online. You can find details information about these APIs on our documentation site. For today's sharing, I only selected the body class to run this demo in Script Lab. You can look at the screenshot over here that I highlight the code for registering those events, like for add comment, to detect whether the comment is added or changed or deleted. So let me switch to Word Online to run the demo. One sec. All right. Okay, so let me quickly show you this part of the code to register those events. And for the event handler, basically, the script will output this text into the console log to say the event is detected. So let's run it very quickly. So first, we need to add sample text into the canvas, and then we need to register those handlers. And now we can add a comment into the content. Click this button, the comment is added, and the event is detected. And then the handler output this text into the console log, comment added event detected. So basically, this shows that the event handler is working. So I can try another one very quick. This is to edit the comment text and also see the event is detected. So this is very simple and straightforward. So let me switch back to the slides. Okay. All right. So next one, I will demo the highlight API, also in the Script Lab. So the highlight API can highlight the selected range in the document temporarily without changing the content. So I think this is quite useful for some use cases. And then the code is very simple. So as I showed on this screenshot, you just need to make sure. Who's speaking? Okay, so the code is very simple. You just need to select the range and then just call this API.
This Microsoft thing then.
So Mingjia, can you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and finish one you drafted earlier. And then
You can go ahead, I think. Hello, Steve. You muted? Oops.
That seems you muted all. Steve, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So just as I was saying, the code to call this highlight API is very straightforward. So let's do this demo really quick. Actually, I borrowed part of the code for the comment event, so bear with me for those descriptions. So basically, I just add sample text, and this button will just highlight the second paragraph. See how it works? Very quick, very simple. Okay, so get back here. So that's the demo, and thank you for watching. And so we encourage you to start trying those APIs in preview, and we'd love to hear your feedback and your questions, or if you find any issues, you just open them in GitHub and make sure you tag with the preview API in the subject of the issue. Okay, so next one, I will provide a brief recap of nested app authentication, building on last month's community call, where my colleague Ben introduced this initiative, and David provided a comprehensive demo showcasing its end-to-end functionality. So this month, our key message is to emphasize that NAA enables you to create more powerful features in your Word.js add-in, and it works for the entire Office.js platform. To be clear, it also works for Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook, of course. So simply put, as a recap, NAA provides a much simpler way for JS add-ins to interact with Microsoft, offering the simplified single sign-on experience. Compared with the current Office.js solution, which is the on behalf of Flow, utilizing the Get Access Token API, NAA offers enhanced architectural flexibility. So this flexibility empowers developers to create sophisticated client-driven applications that seamlessly integrate with the Microsoft ecosystem, like through the Graph APIs. So the benefits with NAA are substantial. We aim to provide a simpler development experience by supporting the SBA type applications and the MSAL.js library, which makes your coding much easier. And you can also have easier Azure registration, and you can get access tokens on first request. No longer need a middle tier for add-ins to get Microsoft Graph tokens. We also aim to provide much better experience for users with the built-in user consent flow and standardized authentication patterns across Microsoft apps. So we also made some key updates over the last month. We expanded our NAA preview to both insiders beta channel and the current channel for preview. And we are working to add API for WXP for getting the login hint in the coming weeks. And you may find documents from this short URL, aka.ms/NAA docs, where we will continue to add WXP code samples. And last but not least, when you run into any issues when you test this feature, please feel free to provide feedback in our GitHub repo. Make sure you tag with the NAA or nested app auth in the subject of the issue. So in summary, we want to convey to the community today that NAA is not just about enhancing the SSO feature. It opens up numerous opportunities for you to build more powerful features in your JS add-ins. So now I will hand it over to my colleague David, who will demonstrate a Word.js add-in sample to showcase updating the imported template with user information. And this demo might inspire you to start trying NAA in your own applications. So over to you, David.
Thank you, Steve. Hi, everyone. My name is David Chesnut, and I am going to share my screen and show a demo. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so we thought it would be cool to show kind of a more real world kind of scenario of using nested app authentication and basically using SSO. And so I took our import template sample, just one of our existing samples, and added NAA support to it to show how simple it is and how you could use this. The idea is you could import a template, and if that template has content controls on it, you could go get the info, a token for the signed-in user, just this Adele Vance, and go to Microsoft Graph and get some information and fill out that form. So when I go choose a file, and I'm just going to pick one off the local drive here, it inserts the template, and then it also adds information. I'm just adding it into this one content control here. So there's a user profile picture, some information like the name, job title, phone number, and so on. I mean, you could go through and have more content controls and fill out depending on what you want to get from Microsoft Graph and put it in there. This is a pretty cool way of using NAA, and it was pretty simple to add. So I was going to show how I did that. The sample itself is on our Office Add-in Samples repo in GitHub, and there's this word import template. So I took this code, and then I went to our nested app auth samples, which are under this auth folder. So like there's Office Add-in NAA. And basically there's two files I pulled out of here. There's this auth config and this graph helper. The graph helper helps call REST APIs on Graph, and the auth config will get you your access token. And so I just went and pasted these in to the project. So here's where I took the import template project, and I added this dependency for MSAL browser. MSAL browser is the library that implements NAA, so that's what you need. It's not an Office.js thing. This is all MSAL stuff. And then added those two files. I have my auth config. All I changed here was I added my registration ID from Azure. And I showed in the last call, I showed setting up that registration. It's pretty simple. Another simple thing is I don't need a middle tier server in here, so there's none of that code. This is all SPA. And then my MS Graph helper, of course. And then in my task pane, the only changes were I just imported that account manager. As a reminder, with the auth config, that's from the auth config. And what this file does is it handles getting the access token. It tries to get it silently, as you saw. The first time I ran this, I had to consent. And so it walked through popping up a dialog to do the consent. But once that's done, SSO doesn't need to pop up anything again. So import that, import my make graph request. And then in my office.onReady, I'm going to initialize the account manager, which sets up the public client application for MSAL. And then after it imports that template, I added this update content control. First, it gets that user photo. Honestly, this code was the hardest part to write for me because you have to get the photo and convert it to base 64. You can see like there's this stuff going on here where I'm trying to split out the base 64 portion and then set it. Anyway, so I get the user photo, and these are functions I wrote that are going to make the graph calls. So like if you go down to get user photo, it calls that account manager helper class to get the token. You notice you can patch the scopes that you need, and it's incremental consent. So if at some point the user goes into a function here that has a new one, it'll actually pop up a dialog and say, hey, do you consent to this new scope? Then we make the graph request to go get the value. In this case, it comes back as a blob, and then we convert it and add it to the rich text content control. There's also another one to get all the user details, and this is just a user read, and it just gets, this is how you get like the email, the user's name, phone number, and stuff like that. So back up here, where we update our content control, here's where we call get user details, and that comes back from Microsoft Graph, and we add display name, job title, the first entry of the business phone list, and then we just go into iterate through the content controls. I'm looking for one that I had created called email, so I know that's in there. Probably could have given that a more universal name. I started off writing this as email, and then insert the rich text content that we need to update that. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do that. So, and it's kind of cool. I think that's there's a lot of use cases for doing this sort of thing where maybe you're grabbing content and inserting it into a document for someone. So yeah, I'll end the demo there and see if there's any questions. guess back to you, Mingjia.
Yeah, thank you, David, and thanks, Steve. And I'll share my screen back.
Yeah, that was awesome demo, David. Thank you. And also, this concludes my part of the session. I want to thank everyone for listening, and I look forward to collaborating with all of you to create even better Office web add-ins. And thank you, Mingjia. Back to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that is all the topics we have today, and now we are going to the Q&A session. And today we have 2 questions collected from the forums. And the first question is that I'm having an issue on development, and here is an error I encounter. And here is an answer that's provided by our product team. And I'll copy and paste the code in the chat channel later so that you can check the code if you are in this meeting. And if you have any further questions, you can also submit an issue with more details of your problems to this GitHub repo. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So the next question is that, is there any way to check number of users installed in the Office.js PowerPoint and managed add-in, which is deployed using integrated apps deployment? If we don't have option in Office 365 Admin Center, can you recommend some way to check this in machine level through script? And the answer to this is that we do not have any dashboard to check which users are acquiring the apps for themselves. However, admin can run the following commandlet on all user mailbox to get list of add-in deployed for the user. This will help admins get list of which apps are deployed and to which users. And here's the link. You can check more details. Okay, so if you're new to Office add-ins, here are some useful links that you can check: our documentation, our quick starts, the script labs where you can play with some code snippets, and also our sample gallery. And also you can join our developer program to learn more about the resources we provided, and also the Office script. So you can check all those links to find more to find our other helpful resources. And also, if you want to engage with our teams, and here are some links you can go. For example, if you have technical questions, for example, how to handle the problem, like how to handle an Office add-in, and you can go to these 2 links to ask about your questions and see how other people are asking the similar questions or something like that. And also, if you encounter some product bugs, you can go to this GitHub link to submit an issue, and our team will help you out there. And also, if you have some feature requests and any ideas to expand the product and the capabilities, you can share with us through this developer suggestion link. And here we also have some other community calls across the Microsoft 365 developer community. And here are all the links you can check and to see that what are differences between those different community calls and see if they are related to your development scenarios. And please feel free to join if it is helpful. Okay, so here is all the things for today's community call, and the recording of this call will be on this YouTube channel. You can check all the previous recordings of the community call, and the recording today would also be uploaded in a couple of days. And also you can follow us on the Twitter, and our next community call would be the like next month during the 12th, also at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And agenda would be posted to this website like a couple of days before the community call. And also, if you have some questions before the community call, you can also feel free to submit your questions through this forms link. So this is all for today's community call. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining, and have a nice rest of the day.